This is Jatin Srivastav. Here I am with our first video of this SEO training course. As I have already introduced you in our first presentation, that we'll be covering each and every basic of everything that we are going to cover here. So here I am with the first video related to basics of internet. The approach that we will be following here will be, I will be redirecting you people to my website where I have listed all the text, all the content, for your theory purpose. Then after going through this theory, we will jump onto this presentation and we will summarize what we have read in this class. Make sense? Let's move. So here you can see the basics of internet. I will be providing you this link in the description section below the video. So here you can see the basics of internet is what we are going to cover in this class. We will be covering the terms like web browser, domain name, protocols and other. Each and everything will be defined by its name itself. So let's define initially what is internet. As the word defined, let's split the word. We have inter and we have net. Now what is meant by inter? Inter is something that is spread all across the world. We have here two terms. One is inter, one is intra. Intra is something confined within a place, okay, and inter is something which is all across the world, okay. There are two terms. You need to be differentiating each other. So let me just write down these terms. One is intra, that's spelled as I-N-T-R-A, okay. Other one is inter. Intra means within something, okay. It means within something, okay. And inter means spread all across the world, okay. So these are the two terms which are little bit confusing, but if you have clear understanding of each and every term, it will be easier for you to define it. So inter means spread all across the world, and net means the network, okay. The network short form is net. So a network that is spread all across the world is known as internet. Internet is basically networks of networks. Networks are all connected to each other and frame internet, okay. So this was the first term, internet. Internet, split the word and get its definition. What is web browser? Web browser, let's get its definition from the web word itself. Browser, browsing means something, exploring something. If I read here, I want to read about latest happening, let's say Alexa. I want to read about Alexa, okay. So what I am doing, I am browsing the web, I am reading the web, I am exploring the web. Now exploring the web, browsing the web is through web browser. Which web browser I am using? I am using Google Chrome. We have Microsoft Edge as a web browser. We have Mozilla Firefox as a web browser. There are so many web browsers that help us to browse the web. Browsing the web is web browser. Sure, let's move ahead with the search engine. Now what is search engine? Searching something through an engine is known as search engine. Now search engine is like Google. Google is a search engine, okay. So Google helps us to search throughout the web. Something that helps us to search throughout the web is known as search engine, okay. We have so many search engines, like Google is the topmost, then we have Yahoo, we have Bing, we have other search engines as well, okay. So these are the topmost search engine. Each and everything has been explained here as well for your theory purpose, okay. So this is how it will cover, okay. Then we will move on to plugins. Plugins are something that gives you add-on features. For example, here you can see I have set a Grammarly plugin. Grammarly plugin basically helps me to correct my grammatical mistakes. I'm not a master of grammar, I am too weak in that. Okay, so these are the plugins, these are the add-ons which help us in making our work very efficient, okay. For example, you want to open a PDF file in your browser itself, but you do not have an extension of Adobe. You will be required an extension or a plugin of Adobe PDF in order to run the PDF file. Similarly, in order to run a flashy file, you will be require a flash player plugin. So these plugin easier our work. If you do not have a PDF plugin, you have to download the file and then open it in your PDF reader. Instead of this, if you just add a plugin, it will help you to open that file in the browser itself. So plugin is an add-on feature that ease our work. Okay. So these are the protocols. Protocols is known as the rules and restrictions of internet. Okay. Basically, if you see its standard definition, these are the standard rules. Okay, these are standard rules that are followed by while transferring information over the internet. Okay, you know the protocols. Protocol we have IPv4 protocol, we have IPv6 protocol. We will not go in depth to those protocols yet. So just as a layman language, I would like to define it. These are the rules and restrictions through which the internet works. Okay, it's known as protocol. That's it. Okay, let's move ahead. We have URL and domain name. Okay, so whole domain name is known as URL itself. Okay, so what is a domain? Let's understand it with the help of an example. Here we go. Domain. We have taken an example of my website online SEO blog / SEO training syllabus. Now what is it? Let's split this domain or split this URL into different part. We have HTTPS. HTTPS stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Now what is this? HTTPS, the website address often start with HTTP or HTTPS or FTP. These are all the protocols. Okay, all the initial of web address known as protocol, which basically tells the browser how to retrieve a data. Okay, so if you are writing a website on HTTP language, then it will help you basically to tell the browser how you have to retrieve the data from this website. Okay, nowadays the websites are generally operated by HTTPS, where S stands for secured network. Make sense? Let's move ahead. We have www.onlineseoblog.com. but www is optional. You know, if you run a website without www, it will be running. Okay, let's just check it out. Basically www is an optional thing that if you may like, you can proceed with www as well, and if you do not wish to add www, is not mandatory to add. As you can see, the website works with it as well. HTTPS is important because it basically shows that your website is secured. Okay, makes sense? The website will work with onlineseoblog.com as well, but it is important in order to show that this is a secured website. Make sense? Let's move ahead. We have this additional part. We have this extension as well, .com. .com is referred to as top level domain. Okay, we have different extension. You can go with .in, you can go with country level restriction like .co, .in. You can go with the UK extension like .co, .uk. Okay, but the .com is considered as a top level domain. Okay, so you must go with .com. If the .com is not available, you can go with other as well, or if you want to acquire some additional domain as well, then you can go with .com along with .in or .co, .in, .org or any other thing. Okay, then we have /SEO training syllabus. Okay, this is the path. This is known as the path where the file is located. Okay, so this is how a URL, a domain name is splitted. We have protocol HTTPS, we have the domain name. This is the domain name. Okay, this entire is the URL. This is the domain name with extension .com with path SEO training syllabus. Make sense? Let's move ahead. We have hosting. Hosting is a home to a domain. Once we have the domain, we need a hosting as well, where that domain can run. Now hosting can be from anywhere. GoDaddy provides you the hosting, and HostGator provides you the hosting. Bluehost provides you the hosting. Hosting is just a home to the domain. Okay, without hosting you can't run a domain. You will be requiring both hosting and domain in order to run a website. Make sense? So this is the small basic introduction to internet. If you have any questions related to the basics of internet, you can comment it in the comment section. You can also add any term which I might missed, because this is not that much of thorough terms that I have listed here. So you can comment it. I will be back with you with the definition of that term. The definition will again getting retrieved from the name itself. Okay, make sense? So let's move ahead. Let's move ahead with the working of Google, how Google works. Okay, so let's move ahead. Yeah, so introduction to Google. So what is Google? As we have already introduced, Google is a search engine. Search engine is something which helps us to search something. Okay, it's an engine will help us to browse the web. Okay, so search engine Google is founded by Larry Page and Sergey Brin on September 4, 1998. Okay, so this is something which can be asked on the interview, but it don't make any sense. But some of the interviewer do ask it, so you must have a note of this, that it was founded by Larry Page and Sergey Brin on September 4, 1998. Okay, and one of the amazing fact that I browsed over the internet, that Google at present time owns more than 50 companies. The big names include the Google Hangout, Gmail, Android, Blogger. So all of the big names are with Google, you know. So with these big names, Google is currently being have a share stock of in millions or dollar millions. Okay, so let's explore its working, how basically Google works. Okay, so let's do this. So Google work in 4 simple steps. You can see in the image: crawling, indexing, assigning relevancy, and processing and showing the results. Now what is meant by crawling? Whenever a website is created, Google bots generally crawl a website. Crawling means basically fetching the information from the website. Google, once you make the website, it does not automatically crawl it. What generally happens, let's say I created this website, onlineseoblog.com. Then what I did, I move on to the Google Webmaster and I submitted my website there. Then once the Google knows that this website exists, Google takes, let's say, about a maximum of a week to come to your website and crawl it. Okay, there are other terms as well associated with it, like crawling, sitemaps are associated with it. So we will not go in depth at this point because this is a very basic class. We will just have an introduction that crawling is something through which Google fetch the information from your website. Okay, crawler have different name, like Google bot we have Spider, we have different bots for different search engine. Bing got its own search crawler, Yahoo got its own crawler. Okay, so here we are focusing only on Google. Okay, so how can I help Google crawling my website? Crawling means fetching information. For example, your website contains hundreds of pages. Okay, it will be difficult for crawler to crawl each and every page. Now how can you help crawler in crawling the page? By improving the internal links. Okay, you must provide internal link in each and every of your article. Here you can see I have provided one internal link with sitemap. So this has been hyperlinked here. Sitemap, if Google if you are the user, okay, you read this term sitemap and you are not familiar with it, what you will do, you will just click on it and you will be redirected to a part of the website where I have defined it with some thorough research. Okay, so this is just a term. If you click on it, you will be redirected to the thorough description of this term. So this is how you can help crawling your website. You can improve the internal links, you can update your site regularly, you can include sitemaps, use tags effectively, and content optimization. Okay, what generally happens sometimes Google does not you do not want crawler to crawl specific part of your website. You do not want it to crawl the admin area of your website. Okay, admin area crawling definition clear. Crawling means fetching information. You do not want Google to fetch your admin information and put it on in its search result. That is something you do not want. So here comes one more technical term which is known as robots.txt. In the next lecture I will make separate videos for robot.txt and sitemaps. Okay, because these are the terms which will be keep on coming in each and every article that I will be preparing. Okay, So I will make sure to come up with an article of explaining what is robots.txt and what is sitemap in the next article. Okay, so robots.txt basically helps you to restrict Google in assessing some part of your website. Let me show you an example here. This is my website. Okay, so what I have did, if you see my robots file, I have requested Google, sir, do not crawl my admin area. I have disallowed Google to not to crawl my admin area, but this is a file within the admin area that is required by Google to crawl. So what I have did, sir, inside my admin file you are allowed to crawl the admin-ajax.php file, but do not crawl the entire admin area. Okay, and this is a sitemap which I have created. So once the Google comes to your website, it basically goes first to your robots file, okay, to check the status, which are the area which I should not crawl. Okay, so that's is the reason why I have listed here the sitemap. I will define the sitemap and robots.txt in the next lecture. Okay, so do not worry if these terms are not familiar with you. I will be explaining them in the next lecture. Okay, so this is how to give direction to the crawler. So sitemap will help. Sitemaps are basically map for your website. Okay, the map will help Google how to crawl the website. Okay, so this was the first step. Here you can see we have crawling covered. We do it about crawling. Then we will be reading about indexing. Okay, now once the Google have crawled the website, it have gathered all the information that was required. Now where will Google save those information? Google have crawled the website, Google have all the information. Now you want Google, sir, index it as well. For example, in a notebook, in the starting section, what we used to do, we have content section. Okay, here we list all the topics. Okay, we index it. So this is how Google will also index it. For example, Google will crawl this part of my page and will see what is the heading of this page. Google will come to know this is talking about how Google works. Google will create a separate index within its server and will name it as how Google works. Whenever a user search for a query that says how Google works or explain me the working of Google, Google uses its AI stands for artificial intelligence, and will pop up the result which is more relevant. Okay, so this is how indexing works. Google will index all the information that it has crawled, and will display to the user, okay, when it search for a query. Okay, you can read the definition after this session by on. Okay, so this was how I was telling, assigning relevancy. Now you cannot just you created a web page and you write there how Google works, and you write 3 to 4 lines, and you will assume that Google will come to your website, will crawl it and show it in the Google search result page. This will not happen. There one more term come, Google search result page. Let me show you what is Google search result page. Google Translate. Okay, so I typed here, my query was Google Translate. Now this entire page is known as Google search engine result page. Search engine result page is SERP. Okay, search engine result page. Okay, so this is known as search engine result page, where all the results have been displayed. Okay, so what I was saying, you created a page of how Google works, right? There are 2 or 3 lines, and you could not expect Google to show it. Okay, it has their own algorithms. This is again a technical term which I will be explaining in the coming lecture. We'll make sure, let me just write it down. So in the coming lecture I will be explaining the sitemaps, what are sitemaps, what are crawlers, in depth what is robots.txt file. I guess crawler is being clear now. We used to crawl the information, different cases have been explained. And third one, I will be making lecture on algorithms. Okay, algorithms are basically the guidelines which you have to follow when you are creating a content. Okay, inside algorithms you have to follow a white hat SEO technique. In the first lecture you can browse down. I have listed all this topic. I will be covering them step by step. As if now, just get familiar that there is a term which is known as algorithm, which are the guidelines. That is enough for you at this time. Algorithms are the guidelines, okay, through which Google will assign the relevancy. This will not happen if you type just 3 to 4 lines and give us a heading how Google works and it will display your search engine result page. No, Google will check for all the posts that you have displayed. It will check what are the keywords that you have used, how frequently you have used those keywords, what is the value of your content. This is how Google will assign the relevance. There are different factors which we will cover under algorithms. Okay, once the algorithms have been completed, once it fixes AI, that is known as the artificial intelligence, via this it will show you the result. Okay, so this is how it will work. Now your website relevancy criteria will based on following. Your content should be a quality content, website promotion should be done, on-page SEO should be good, domain authority and other. These are the criteria through which the website will be ranked.